college life?
Well, growing up in the U.S., I would say that being Muslim, there are definitely challenges, like certain things you can't do that the norm is normally doing, but nothing that makes you stand out or feel indifferent. If you mind your own business and do what you have to do, everyone's very accepting. Even the starting off semester of college, due to COVID-19, everything's online now. But professors as well as classmates have been really respectful towards me. Exactly what Fawaz and Breen are saying too. Not really much problems I faced while growing up.
So now let's move on to the present elections, because what we saw, something very pleasant that came out of this election is that the number of Muslims that have been running for different offices. I know the Muslim community has been living here for many decades, but it's the first time that so many Muslim candidates were running for different offices, from local to city to state and to federal. So this is something which is very good, very kind of encouraging, because this is our country. We are going to live here for the rest of our life. Our children are going to live here. So it's very important that we take part in the political circles as well. So I think, Zan, what do you think about Muslims going into politics? How good do you feel, or how important do you feel it is?
I think it's extremely important, because the biggest part of politics is constituents having representation, and with the Muslim community having more and more representation, our voices are better heard and better understood by the masses. So it's very important.
Yeah. And Fawaz, you coming from Saudi Arabia, I know in Saudi Arabia, no matter how long you live, you cannot be a Saudi citizen, right? So how did you feel first when you came here, when you saw even Muslims who were not even born here, but they were naturalized? Now they are running for different offices, and they are becoming senators, congressmen, mayors, county commissioners, and so on and so forth. What was your feeling about this openness and this welcoming nature of U.S. politics?
It's amazing, because as you said, being in Saudi Arabia, right, there's like not much to do at all, because it's run by king and what you call monarchy and all. But when I came here to the United States, I wasn't into politics at all. When I came here, when Trump and Obama, like when Trump was running for the presidency, when I came in, I saw what's politics about senators and then all this stuff. It was amazing to see all of that. And being outside person, and I see it's really important a Muslim representative should run for something, either a senator or maybe anywhere, any terms of that. Because right now, it is important to people know, because this is somehow people need to see, Muslim is not about like one thing. It's like Muslim can run for other things as well. And this is how we can represent Islam as well, through a different way. So it's amazing to see here in the United States, the politics is all about this, and then
it's not about religion.
It's not about religion at all.
It's about the issues and
exactly, and we're all working together. So this is how our country runs proper. So this is how it is. So
Amreen, coming to you, Biden has won, and the exciting thing about him has been his openness, his all-embracing attitude towards all the communities, including Muslims. I remember he had released a video during election time in which he had quoted the holy scriptures of Islam and Muslims, which was very heartening, because no candidate before him running for a US presidentship had ever quoted any Islamic scripture, or he or she had never addressed Muslims face to face, I would say, or had never released a video addressing Muslims. So I'm pretty sure you must have seen that video of Mr. Biden, our president-elect. So what do you think about Mr. Biden overall?
I think one of the best qualities from having President or elect Biden there is, yeah, it just comes to openly speaking good about the different communities that are in this country. It feels great to have someone who might not be Muslim, or he might not say exactly or follow the path, but having a leader whose rhetoric is just welcoming to all religions and different thoughts of belief, that's really important. So I think one of his greatest qualities is not causing problems by saying things against anyone, but really just being open about.
So having said that, how do you think we can help Mr. Biden run this country in a more effective way when it comes to Muslim communities?
I definitely believe that we should go into politics. It's not like it's bad. It's really just helping out your community first, showing representing what Islam is for you, how it is a very peaceful religion. What we want is just to live in, good terms with everybody else, just like everyone. We all want just a job. We want to work. We want to, how Hafizah mentioned, we want to just have our families here and live peacefully, right? So I think to support Biden is really just go out there and represent Islam in a good light.
Okay, Huzaifa, I'm going to make a statement, and I'd like you to let me know if you agree with me or not, and if you agree or disagree, let me know why you agree or disagree. And my statement here is that having studied Islam and the history of different Muslim countries all my life, right, as an Imam, I feel that US, right, in many sense, if not all, in many sense is more Islamic, right? This country is more Islamic than many Muslim countries out there. Do you agree with this statement?
I would definitely agree with that statement. The diversity that the U.S. has, everyone knows a lot about different religions, and compared to back in other countries, you would say they claim to be Islamic, but sometimes they don't really fall through to what their religion really is about. And how the U.S., how everyone is diverse and knows about Islam, they get to learn more and provide things that equal for everyone, making it comfortable for the Muslims to live in.
Okay, on the same note, for example, Quran teaches us that God had created everybody with this quality of freedom. I mean, it's a quality. I mean, God, every human being had been made with this power to choose whatever he or she wants to do with his or her life, right? But in many Muslim countries, when you live there, you don't feel that right. It's crushed. It's just, you cannot do so many things because it's the culture that stops you from doing so. For example, when you talk about immigration laws, right? Immigration laws in this country are wonderful. You come here, and if you do everything right, you can become a legal alien, and then you can become a U.S. citizen. But you have in Muslim countries, for example, Saudi Arabia, for example, I think Kuwait and UAE, I don't know, all these Muslim countries who call themselves Muslim countries, but you live there for all your life. But since you are not from that country, they will never give you a legal status. You will still be living on some kind of visa, and they can kick you out at any time. You have no right. You cannot buy land there. You cannot buy a house there. On the other hand, in the US, you have all the rights, right? So in that regard, this country is more Islamic and is in true sense is a Muslim country to a great extent. Of course, not everything that we see here is right. From the Christian perspective, from the Jewish perspective, from the Islamic perspective, everything that is going here in this country is not ideal. But when we compare this country to the rest of the world, and to especially Muslim countries, we find out that this country is more Islamic, right, than many of the Muslim countries. And more so, if you are following news, I think last week another survey came up in which it was kind of, I mean, they found out that New Zealand is the most closest country to the Islamic values. I mean, New Zealand. So, because the way they are living, the way they are treating people, their way of life, or their way of living and the rules there are more close to Islam than anything. And the rest, the Muslim countries in that list come way down, 70, 80, 90 in that category, right? So this shows to us that, it is not where you are living, right? It is what rights you have, right? That will determine whether that place is Islamic country or a Muslim country. So in US, we find that to a large extent this country is a Muslim country to a great extent, because it is giving us all those rights, right? Then, when we are living here and we have so many rights and we are enjoying so much freedom, right? How can we give back to the community at large, right? What do you think, how Muslim community can play a more positive role in giving back to the community?
By being good civic-minded human beings, being